science is going to aim to minimize and eliminate bias. Science is also self-correcting through the use of peer review. We will be getting peer review in a very formal capacity on research. We'll be hearing from our peers and from other people whenever we're talking about our professional experience. And then we're getting feedback from our learners in the specific context of a training session. And it also does minimize and eliminate those cultural biases that we might carry with us into training. However, as great as all of that is, science only knows what it knows. There's a saying, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you can't prove that it's the case doesn't mean it isn't the case. So just because you can't see a problem on the x-rays doesn't mean the horse isn't in pain, right? Just because we don't have evidence that something is the case doesn't mean that isn't the case, especially if it hasn't been studied before. And science is great, but if we were done studying everything, it would be a very different world. There's a reason that science is still such a huge industry, and that's because there's still lots and lots of stuff for us to research and us to know better and learn more about. So understanding that science is limited to things that have already been studied by science. And then also identifying that although science aims to minimize and eliminate bias, eliminating bias also means detaching our emotions. And in my opinion, emotions are vital for being a good equestrian. The equestrian industry has so much that we need to improve on. I could probably have a full 10-week course just talking about that. But what I will say is I've worked in a lot of animal industries. I've never seen an industry with as much heart and passion as the equestrian industry. We love and care about our equines a lot, and that is an absolute asset. And so if anybody makes you feel like in order to be the best equestrian, and you have to have a science-based approach, or in order to have a science-based approach or to truly have that good approach, you have to detach all those emotions, I am here to tell you, no, you do not. I think it is absolutely vital that we continue to love our equines and love our sport or our hobby or whatever equestrianism is to you. And I think that's what makes us wonderful. But that said, our emotions can also make it more difficult for us to look at the objective facts in a situation. So don't turn off your emotions, but be mindful of your emotions and see how they're playing into things, and see how they're influencing decisions that you might be making, because odds are they're influencing them in some very good ways, but there also might be some ways that they're not the most constructive. So trust your gut, trust your intuition, especially when it comes to ethics and kindness. If your gut says to be kind, be kind. I promise you, I don't know, in my life, I've never regretted being kind, but I have certainly regretted times that my gut said to be kind and I wasn't kind.
Learn anytime, anywhere with Steph K Equestrian's Equine Behaviorology online courses at skequine.com.